So now we're gonna flow right into single player here, and we're gonna check out some of this. What has been some of your favorite parts about the single player? I mean, there's a lot there. You guys created an insane universe.
It's a big question.
It's a big world.
Yeah, it's to me it's a micro. I think I answered that the last time we were here. Like the question was different. It was like, which one is your best act or your favorite act? I think my favorite part of the single player remains when I can just sit down and start hacking cameras and scouting an entire area. Because when you start doing that, you start opening everything in the game. Like you start seeing this guy has a bomb on him. I could hack that thing. The guy, you could go berserk and start throwing a bomb to his friend without realizing it. The other guy freaks out, blows up in the air, while another one has his phone being problematic. And you start like feeling like you're a puppeteer controlling everything around the AI. So there's something very rewarding to just like feel like everybody in a compound just died without really knowing what the hell happened to them. And that's really
awesome.
That's just really fun to do.
That is so open world.
I love that.
That is wild.
I just want to get your attention now on what's happening. Now right now PY is playing the ctOS hub unlocking. So this will get you to kind of open your world more or less, right?
This basically will allow you to open the profiler in this area. So once you hack into ctOS, you're able to profile and get all this information. So that will unlock a lot of side quests, a lot of content. So these are really, really important in the game.
So he's now in a restricted area. So that means their guards will react to him and will...
Yeah, now at the red zone, you see he's basically not allowed to be there. So he puts himself in danger.
And I'll just see how he tackles this one by climbing on the back of a truck.
So he's trying to be stealthy.
Yeah.
I totally agree with Jonathan. I think becoming a good hacker is really, really fun, and that's something I definitely hope people explore and try and really put some time in, because if they play Watch Dogs, just like a typical shooter, I think they're really missing on what this game is about. It still works fine and it's supported. It's a shooter, but it's first a hacking game with a lot of these elements.
And also the goal is, even though if you like shooting, the goal was to have hacking layered on top of everything, so you can still be extremely focused on combat while combining your tool of hacking at the same time. It takes some time to like really combine all those elements together for sure, but that's part of the pleasure of a game, to have depth into it, so you feel like the more you play, the more you define your own way of playing it and improvising with your enemies. I saw a question in the list. I managed to read one at the speed it's going.
Wow.
I know, I'm getting good at it. Someone asked about battery life. Like, if you look at the bottom left corner of the screen, there's kind of a battery icon. So obviously, yes, there's batteries in the concept of hacking. The way it works, it's kind of, it auto-generates itself, so it's kind of a magic phone I would love to have at home. And every hack you do costs a little bit. Well, I say most of the hack costs something. Cameras, for example, don't cost anything. So when you do big takedowns or you do hacking on AI, then you need to manage a little bit that. It's not too restrictive, but at the same time, it brings you to start by doing a few hacks per minute, and then slowly but surely you can invest on having more battery life as the game progresses, so you can get even more powerful through that.
PY is getting bored now, so he's going all action.
Yeah, he started out stealthy, and now he's just guns blazing.
Yeah, he just wanted to go for
something
it, right?
cool though is the AI have they have memory, so they'll be looking at where they think you are. So even in combat, you can go back to stealth and re-hide again. So all of that is just fully supported. They might call reinforcements as well. So if you take too much time, they'll call for help. So the challenge will be a little more difficult. You can use jam comms to prevent that call. So there's a lot of dynamics going on, and that's the interesting thing in Watch Dogs.
I saw another question about how does focus work while you're in multiplayer. That's a great question. We don't support the slow motion of the focus in multiplayer for, I guess, like obvious reasons, but we are supporting all the helps of aiming and elements it does while you're in that mode. So when you press the button, you still have an edge in mechanics, but not as good as you would have an edge in single player. One side effect that's nice about that is that it becomes a way to detect if someone might be invading your game. So if you have people around in your game and you're still at a point where you shouldn't be knowing about it, and you press to try focus and it doesn't work or it doesn't slow down, then suddenly it gives you a hint that someone might be there, which doesn't break the game at all. Actually, it's the opposite around. It's a nice way to start trying detecting if someone is there, but it doesn't spoil the other player. It just changes a little bit the relationships you have between the two. You still have to figure out where he is, who he is, that kind of stuff. And at the same time, it's kind of a voluntary design trick to start having players paranoid a little bit. So, you know, if they tell someone a few times and they saw other players do some stuff and now they're suddenly doing it alone in their game, and they start feeling like, wait a minute, there's someone after me, and they start like using those ways to define if someone is there without really realizing it. They completely change the way they play just because they might have someone looking at their ass. And I think that's an interesting way to help them encourage themselves to become paranoid at the mechanical level.
So just so people know what's going on here,
Yes.
PY just hacked into the ctOS server in the control center. He's watching some of the data that's stored on all these computers, so that's one example there. And once he hacks into the mainframe, he will gain access to the district and the ctOS. So that's what you're seeing.
So now that whole district is open for him to hack.
Exactly. So now the remote profiler will detect some events, some crimes, and he'll get a lot more info about what's going on in this district. And he'll be able to profile everyone and get their personal information.
There's an interest. There was a that comes a lot actually. A question about whether or not we have Easter eggs in the game. Yes, but they are Easter eggs.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to tell you what they are and where they are and how the hell you're going to trigger them.
I saw another
Sorry
question
about
on.
that.
Yeah. We gotta. Yeah. What's going on? It's an Easter egg, guys.
Yeah, you
Look
gotta
for it.
find it.